our team, our community. This is CondorsTown, and this is another Energy Condors connection. Now, here's Erik Fox and Ryan Holt.
Seems like just yesterday we were talking about the beginning of the season, and we're talking about the end of the season already. What's up? It's Erik Fox from Energy 95.3. Other side of the split screen is my brother from another mother, Ryan Holt from the Bakersfield Condors. How you doing, buddy?
I'll throw an asterisk on you. It's the end of the regular season, this week.
Fair.
One season's right around the corner.
There we go. All right, well, we'll go with that, and we'll talk about the most wonderful time of the year, which, of course, is playoffs in a moment here. But let's talk about another team that's getting ready for the playoffs. And it's not a bad time to go on the roll. They've been 8 in a row wins, 14-point streak, only one more game before playoffs. I'm talking about Edmonton Oilers. What are we looking on that playoff outlook?
Yeah, it'll come down to the final game. I think the Oilers play tomorrow or Friday, and Vegas plays tomorrow up in Seattle. So it'll come down to the final game. If Vegas loses in regulation and the Oilers win the division and play Winnipeg. If they don't, they'll finish second and they'll have home ice advantage in the first round, likely against LA. There's still a scenario that Seattle could be the 3 seed, I think. But it's a fun time of the year in the organization. Both teams are doing what you'd want them to do, I think. Both teams are where you'd expect them, I think, at this time of the year. And it's great for the organization. Jason Demers kind of talked about it yesterday about both teams playing well at the right time, and it's great for everybody involved. I think oftentimes, and rightfully so. I think most people only care about the Stanley Cup, which I think if you asked any organization, which one do you want to win, the Stanley Cup is the preferred of the two.
Right.
But I think there's something to be said about both teams playing well down the stretch, both teams getting into the postseason, both teams having a realistic shot at getting out of their division. And I think it's great for everybody. It helps, everybody learn how to win down here. And it only helps when, 3 or 4 of our guys this year are probably going to be full-time NHLers next year. And they'll have a playoff series or 2 or 3, to kind of fall back on. And, they'll know the way, before they get to Edmonton.
It's kind of nice to put a real banner also in the building as opposed to, what some teams like the Predators do. But anyways, we'll leave that there. So obviously home ice advantage is kind of a lock at this. It is a lock.
Yeah.
But it's LA or Winnipeg. I mean, I know the LA has been like an Achilles heel in some ways. Are they wanting to avoid LA, or do they really care?
I don't think it doesn't much as matter. I don't think. I think LA. I don't know what they have left in the tank. I think they've overachieved to an extent, given their goaltending, and Phoenix Copley's a great story. Jonas Korpisalo, he gets hot at right times, but I think that's why a 7-game series is the ultimate litmus test, because you are who you are at the end of it, right? And I think you go into it. There's very few surprises where you're like, man, I didn't see this coming at all. I can think back maybe Columbus over Tampa a couple of years ago when they swept them. Like when you got swept, that's when it kind of felt like, something really happened inside for Tampa Bay. But I think otherwise, you kind of look at a 7-game series and, your warts come out. If you are a good team, it usually comes to the forefront. I like the Oilers in either series. I think they're a better team than the Kings. I certainly think they're better than the Kraken or the Jets too. So I like them in the first round. Is the storyline better with the Kings? Probably. I think obviously Todd and Jay are good friends off the ice. They've been together for the better part of 3 decades here.
Right.
And on ice, I think they've been really competitive games, but I think at the end of the day, the Oilers just have a little too much for LA anyways, but it is a fun series, and hey, it's right down the road. So, it'd be fun to have them, kind of in the backyard.
It's definitely nice. Let's go and talk about, of course, another playoff plan, and that is with our Bakersfield Condors. Rough weekend, unfortunately, with Henderson and Coachella Valley as we're heading into the last 3 games of the season. What are the importance of these next 3 games?
Yeah, it's important to get healthy, I think is the first, kind of, check mark, I guess. It sounds like Marcus Niemelainen and Yanni Kaldis are at least going to be an option, this week. Jason Demers is back from the NHL. So there's 3 defensemen we didn't have on Saturday and Friday over the weekend. Nothing against the other 3 defensemen who come in when those 3 defensemen are out of the lineup, but I think anybody would prefer Niemelainen, Caldas, and Demers in the lineup. So that's great to see, but it's also great that we have the depth. And I don't think we necessarily played bad hockey games. We had a 3-0 lead on Friday, and you're kind of thinking, oh, this is another winning week, and then all of a sudden, everything kind of hit the rails there. Thought we played a really good game on Saturday, considering it was a back-to-back. Coachella Valley hadn't played Friday night; they had the rest. And we had a 1-0 lead for a good chunk of that game. But it'll be a good test this week. Henderson and Coachella Valley again to close out the regular season and see what transpires. And I think the good part is we know we're in. We know we're pretty much locked to going on the road. Where that'll be, is up to the hockey gods here over the final 3 games. But I think we want to be playing well going in, but know that I think health right now is the most important thing.
Let's go and talk about the last 3 games. What's the importance of playing the last 3 at home?
It's huge. It's always better to finish at home. If we were finishing on the road, just from a logistics standpoint, say we were playing, on a flight trip on Saturday, we might start round 1 in another destination on Wednesday, and it makes things a lot harder. It really does. So anytime you can be at home the final week of the year, I think they try and limit flight trips for teams the final week of the year just because, of that factor. But sometimes it's unavoidable. And, a team like San Diego, although they're not making the playoffs, they're in Colorado. Had they been in the playoffs, they might have had to go from Colorado to Abbotsford. Now you got a 2-week road trip at the end of the year and, you don't even get home. But, everything's pretty much set. You kind of know your destinations at least, where you're heading. Tucson's likely going to Coachella Valley. Calgary's likely getting a week off. We're likely going to Colorado or Abbotsford. So the destinations are kind of set, but we'll see how it all shakes out this week.
Let's go and talk about that. Obviously, that first round is so important. Any hopes on where you land for that first round?
I don't. I mean, I'll steal a Jay Woodcroft line here from a couple of years ago. When the league narrows, and it only narrows a little bit in the AHL, but it really narrows in the NHL. But when you're eliminating half the league, or in our case, you're eliminating 3 teams and narrowing it down to the top 7 teams, and you're playing good teams no matter what. And Colorado's been good, Abbotsford's been good. They both have their pros and cons. Colorado doesn't allow much defensively. They don't score a ton. So you kind of go into those games thinking, these are 2-1 hockey games, and playoff atmosphere. Just from a standpoint, like it just feels like hockey there, which is cool. Abbotsford on the flip side, they have a bunch of guys in Vancouver right now that could join them in Abbotsford, so they might get stronger. And I think we played both teams tough this year, so I don't think there's an advantage, one or the other. I think when we're at full strength and they're at full strength, I think both teams are tough. We'll see what happens, but I give it 50-50 either way. Either way, Colorado and Abbotsford would rather see Ontario than the Condors. I think if you were having them be brutally honest, I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. And of course, next week we'll be talking about where we are, and we'll probably have a Holty blog on the road. We'll get another tour of some random hotel room, either north of the border or really high up in the Rockies.
I'm excited because both destinations, well, Colorado more so than other. Colorado, it's either 75 and beautiful and sunny and like a bluebird, gorgeous day in the Rockies, or it's like 15 and windy with snow. You could get either. I don't.
I lived in Western Colorado for about a year.
Colorado's a nicer hotel. It's easier to get to the rink.
I lived in Western Colorado for about a year, and the running joke was, if you don't like the weather, wait 2 hours.
Yeah, Abbotsford's a bad hotel. It's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Either way, you're either going to get some poutine or you're going to have something that Colorado enjoys. Maybe Rocky Mountain oysters. We'll see what happens.
So I'm quite fine.
Importance of tonight, obviously it is Energy Night tonight. Energy 95.3 is going to be on the scene out there, and we still have a chance to win tickets for a few more hours at Energy 953.
I'm excited. I haven't met Little Mango. I need to meet Little Mango.
Little Mango would be down on scene. I wish I could be out there, but Little Mango will be taking my place out there, so she'll
I'm
be out
excited.
there saying hello to everyone. She's a blast, so she'll be on the concourse before the game as well. So
Awesome.
It's going to be a good time, and of course, tickets for tonight and the weekend games. What do you got to do?
CondorsTown. Get them now. The weekends. I just got some numbers, and the weekend's pretty full. So it's a great problem to have, but we'll warn you to get them now because. Day of game and waiting probably not the best for you. So if you want to make sure you get your spots, get them now.
Weekend games, and of course tonight, Energy Night, and the end of the regular season all going down this week. And of course next week, you and me, Ryan, will be connecting up and talking about what that first round is going to look like. It's going to be an interesting time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to flip the switch. We'll be right into round one come next week. So no rest. Just roll right into it.
You can sleep when the season's over, my friend.
Exactly. A lot of summer.
Ryan, Holt for the biggest of Condors. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3, and I will catch you and Ryan and everyone else next time right here with another copy of your Energy Condors Connection.